So we all have seen the new Eride Pro SS, but is it really worth buying? Come in stock with a 72 volt, 40 amp hour battery with a 12 kilowatt peak power motor. Okay, so welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we'll be talking about the Eride Pro SS 2.0, and this bike has 1,800 miles, almost 2,000 miles. So I'm going to be talking about the 1,000+ mile review and some of the modifications I did to the bike. Okay, so I'm going to start talking about some of the modifications I did to the Eride. So I got an ECD wrap that I got in blue, obviously. I got a eMotoWorks shift lock for helping with wheelies. I got a Lunicycle pegs and the Surron Light B Supermotos. And I also got a Moto Cuts plate. Okay, so this bike has 1,814 miles, and this bike has been looped out and dropped in the ground and thrown. It doesn't look like it, but it has. And yeah, it's been taking a beating, but I have actually had no overall problems with the bike. The only problems I've had is brake issues. The brakes tend to, lose its grip, and I don't know, the pads are just wearing off pretty fast. Another thing is, a big thing about the Eride Pros is the leaky forks. My forks actually don't leak that bad, but it's like a big discussion over like the whole Eride versus Surron thing. So yeah, I don't have that big of a problem with leaky forks. I mean, they do have like a tiny, tiny leak, but not really. But mostly just the brakes. But I had no problems overall with like riding issues. Now, this is like a me problem, or it could be a bike problem, but I can't tell if the bike's losing torque or not because it feels like it is, or I'm just getting used to the torque. So either or. Um, so I don't know if that's an issue, but yeah, the battery still lasts just as long as it used to last. The battery power is just as good as it was brand new. Um, yeah, suspension's good. Like some people say that their forks get blown out, but my forks are fine. I even jumped the bike. I know I have Supermotos on, but I do have dirt tires, and I do put them on here and there. So yeah, the suspension's pretty good. Um, yeah, the main thing is just the brakes. The brakes tend to wear out pretty fast, and I always have to keep adjusting the brakes. So if you just get upgraded brakes, and then I feel like you'll be perfectly fine. So that's my only complaint, is the brakes going fast. And yeah. So this bike, when it had like 900 miles, was involved in like a car accident. And this thing actually had no dents or scratches. This thing drug across the pavement, and just the brake caliper here broke, and that's pretty easy to replace. And yeah, there was no like major damages, and the bike still ran fine. I checked everything. The bike is actually pretty rugged. I cannot believe it made it through that. That bike accident was actually pretty crazy. But yeah, so that's how you know it's pretty rugged. It got in like an accident, and literally it was perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with the bike really. So I see another complaint about like the subframe bending or breaking on people because they're like heavier, they're on the heavier end of people riding bikes. I have not had that problem at all. The subframe is still strong. There's no cracks or bends. It's perfectly fine. And I ride this almost 7 days of the week, and I don't know, 4 or 5 hours a day. So I still ride a lot. But yeah, I had no problems. Just nothing wrong with the bike. Like it's almost 2,000 miles, as it should be. There's nothing wrong. Um, I mean, if I rode it as like a real dirt bike and like through trails every single day, I can see some things going wrong. But that's just minor. That's just maintenance. But how I ride it as a supermoto, I mean, I do jump it, like I said before, but like I don't jump it every single day. But how my setup is, if you're just riding on the road, I have no problems at all. Now the real question, is the Eride Pro worth it over the Surron? I mean, people think it is. Everyone's selling their Surrons. Not everybody, but the majority of people that I see are selling their Surrons and getting these because the frames are bigger, they're thicker, the bike itself is a little bigger. And I just think they're just better out of the box, obviously, because they're one of the highest rated e-bikes out of the box besides the Stark Bark, obviously. I just like it how it's 72 volt stock. It says it goes 60 miles per hour top speed, but I'm going to show you just in a minute how to adjust the speed on like the controls, and you can make it go faster than 60 miles per hour just by changing a couple of modes on the bike. So if I had to choose this over a Surron, I would choose this all day. Just like I said, the frame's bigger, it's stronger, um, and there's more parts available now. Before, when I first got the bike, there was like no modifications just for the Eride Pro. But all these websites, I see this like an option. You can click Eride Pro, and they make the parts just for the Eride Pro, just like the shift lock. It's specially made for this, and yeah, so there's more modification options now. Before, I did not know that the Surron Light B wheels would fit on here. I didn't really do anything to make it fit. It just fit perfect. But yeah, there's more modifications now. And yeah, so if I would recommend the bike, I would definitely get this one. The SS, obviously, and the 2.0. Yeah, because I had no problems, almost 2,000 miles. And yeah. So if I just got a brand new Eride Pro SS 2.0 and I had to change a couple things, I'll definitely change the pegs because the stock pegs are kind of not so grippy. The brakes are good out of the box, just change them over time, I guess, or have an extra pair of pads. But the suspension, like the rear shock, I would definitely change that. The front fork is perfectly fine. The shock's a little stiff, I guess, but it's not that bad. But the front forks is really nice, actually, for stock. If you have a leaky issue, I feel like Eride Pro, if you message them, they'll just give you new forks or help you fix them. I have not had that problem really, so I can't really speak about it, but yeah. Okay, so now it's time to talk about what you guys are probably wondering, how to make the bike go over 60 miles per hour with no modifications. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're gonna turn on the key. The bike turns on with that fancy little entrance. Okay, so you can see I have 1,814 miles here. It's 9:29 a.m. And this is your trip, so I have not really rode this yet. And it's 99%. So we're gonna hold this, and then you're in the settings. So just go up, up, and go to gear. And stock's on 55T. Oop, it's on 55T. Oh my God, why am I doing this? Okay, so it's on 55 tooth, and I just put it on 45 tooth, and it raises the top speed significantly. So I would definitely, I mean, won't recommend it, but like you can do it if you want. It's not bad for the bike. It's just like a tune pretty much that's already on the bike. So yeah, that's how I got my bike to go over 60 with the dirt tires. Obviously goes faster with the Supermotos on. And also a quick note, if you have these Surron Supermotos, you're gonna need to get the Warp 9 kickstand, which is adjustable because the stock kickstand's just too long and the bike won't stand up with the kickstand. It just falls over. So you just need to get this adjustable Surron kickstand that actually fits on the Eride. Okay, so that is probably going to be a wrap of the YouTube video. I know it's a short one, but it's just supposed to be a 1,000+ mile review and my opinion on the bike. And I would say, yes, this bike is worth buying over a Surron. So yeah, so thank you for watching. If you have any questions, again, just comment them and I'll reply to you ASAP. And yeah, so thank you for watching and subscribe.